Hey, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and people who never throw away pennies just in case. This video is for you. Imagine this. You're digging through your junk drawer looking for a AAA battery, and instead, you find a penny. A 1980 penny. You flip it over, and boom, no mint mark. You sigh, toss it aside, thinking just another Lincoln cent. Well, guess what? That little copper coin could be worth $1.50 million. Yeah, you heard me right. 1.5 mil for a penny. Stick around because I'm going to break down how this everyday coin became a millionaire's best friend, how to spot one in your spare change, and I'll even share a very awkward story about the time I almost gave one away as a tip. Yeah, but let's dive in. So, let's get nerdy, but like cool nerdy. In 1980, the US Mint was busy churning out billions, and I mean billions, of pennies. Most were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and back then, Philly didn't use a mint mark. So technically, lots of 1980 pennies don't have a mint mark. But here's the kicker. Not all no mint mark pennies are created equal, that a few super rare error coins were minted without the proper design specs. One of them had a unique die error, incredible sharpness in Lincoln's bust, and a weird finish that stood out like a sore thumb at a coin show. That's what collectors go bananas for. One of these 1980 no mint mark Lincoln cents, in nearly perfect condition, was graded MS 67 red and sold for, you ready? $1.5 million at auction. No joke. So how can you tell if your 1980 penny is worth more than, well, a penny? Here's what you're looking for. No mint mark under the date. Check. Bright reddish color, known as red in grading terms. Extremely sharp details. Look at Lincoln's hair, the lines in his jacket, and no visible where it should basically look like it just got printed yesterday. And of course, you need to get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC to confirm its value. Don't try to sell it raw unless you want to get like 3 cents on eBay and a broken heart. Okay, confession time. About 3 years ago, I was at this hole-in-the-wall diner. You know the kind, sticky menus, sassy waitresses, pancakes the size of steering wheels. I get the bill, go to leave a tip, and I dump some change from my pocket. Later that night, I'm rolling through coins because, yes, I'm that kind of guy, and I realize I left a 1980 no mint mark penny that looked suspiciously pristine. Long story short, I go back the next day, all embarrassed, asking the waitress if she remembers a shiny penny in my tip. She just looked at me like I asked her if I could date her toaster. Moral of the story: check your change before you tip your future Ferrari away. So, if you've got a 1980 penny lying around, go check it. Like right now. Seriously, pause this video, raid your coin jar, dig through the couch cushions, and call grandma. That penny could be worth life-changing money, and it might be hiding in plain sight. And hey, if you love learning about coins that can turn your piggy bank into a private island fund, hit that subscribe button. Bellhop bell turn on notifications so you don't miss the next episode. We've got more hidden gems coming your way. And leave a comment below telling me the oldest or weirdest coin you've ever found. I want to hear your stories. 1976. D. Lincoln penny that recently made waves by being valued at $1.4 million. That's right. $1.4 million for a coin you might have walked past on the sidewalk. Let's break down how this humble penny pulled a full Cinderella and became the belle of the ball, and how you can tell if you have one hiding in your couch cushions. And stick around to the end because I'll share a personal story about a coin I almost spent on a gumball machine that ended up paying my rent for a month. So what makes the 1976 D. Lincoln penny so special? First, let's clear something up. Most 1976 D pennies are totally normal. The D stands for Denver, which minted hundreds of millions of pennies that year. But there's an extremely rare error variety. We're talking so rare, you're more likely to find a unicorn doing taxes. This particular penny was struck on a copper planchet intended for 1,975 coins, but it got stuck in the presses and was minted in 1976 with a freak combination of design errors, double dies, and a jaw-dropping off-metal strike. And that mix of fluke-wise weirdness? That's what collectors go bonkers for. One of these bad boys surfaced at auction and was authenticated by experts. And boom, it sold for over $1 million. That's not pocket change, folks. Okay, so how do you know if your 1976 D penny is just regular gas station change, or if you're holding $1 million mistake. Here are the key things to look for. Flip that coin and check for the D mint mark below the date. Make sure it's clear and not altered. Examine the color and material. Most 1976 pennies are copper-plated zinc, but the rare ones? They're solid copper or even off-metal planchets, like struck on a dime planchet or foreign coin metal. If it feels off, it might be off. Look closely under a magnifying glass. Search for doubling in the lettering, Lincoln's eye, or the motto, "In God We Trust." That's what we call a double die, and it's the stuff coin nerds dream about. Weigh it. A normal penny should be 3.11 grams for copper or 2.5 grams for zinc. If it doesn't match either, bingo, time to dance. And please don't clean the coin. You might think you're doing it a favor, but collectors see a shiny penny and run like it's cursed. Leave that natural grime right where it is. Okay, true story time. A few years ago, I was going through my change jar because, adulting is hard and I wanted a burrito, and I found this weird, dull-looking penny. Almost tossed it in a Coinstar machine, but something about it felt off. It was heavier. The date looked a little strange. So I held on to it and did some digging. Turns out it was a 1943 steel penny, which isn't worth millions, but I sold it $4.150. That's 149 more burritos than I had that day. Faced with tears of joy, the point is, weird pennies can be treasure. You just have to look closely and know what to look for. So why is this 1976 D-error penny worth $1.40 million? Because it hits the coin collector jackpot. Rarity, condition, historical oddity, and insane demand. Coin collectors love a good mystery. And when there's only one, or maybe a few known examples, in pristine condition, the bidding war goes nuclear. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stacked Bowers have seen dramatic price spikes for these kinds of coins. So yeah, that penny in your junk drawer could actually be your retirement fund. All right, treasure hunters, here's your mission. Go dig through your coin jars. Raid your piggy banks. Check the bottom of your car's cup holder and that junk drawer we all pretend is organized. Look for 1976 D pennies. Flipping, Ving. Check for errors. You might just strike it rich. And if you do find one, call an expert. Don't list it on eBay for $5. Please, your future self will thank you. Speech balloon, drop a comment below if you've ever found rare change or if you want help identifying your coins. Collision, smash that like button if you learned something new, and hit subscribe because I drop new videos every week showing you how to turn your pocket change into real change. Let's make sense of your cents, people. See what I did there? Smirking face. 1985, no mint mark Lincoln cent. How it went from a plain OL penny to one of the most sought-after coins in numismatic history. All right, so let me tell you something real quick. A couple years ago, I was helping my grandma clean out her junk drawer. The one with expired coupons, random keys, and like 43 AA batteries that may or may not work. I found this old Ziploc baggie full of pennies. I almost tossed it, but hey, I'm a coin nerd, so I sat down with a flashlight and a magnifying glass like some kind of budget Indiana Jones. And then I stumbled across a 1985 penny. Looked normal at first glance, but something felt off. Now, here's where things get interesting. Most 1985 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, which normally don't have a mint mark, right? So you're like, okay, what's the big deal, Captain Coin? But here's the kicker. There's a rare error variety of this penny with a super strong die and flawless strike, and these were not your typical run-of-the-mill cents. In 2022, one of these rare error coins was sold at auction for, wait for it, $1.7 million. $1.7 million. That's enough to buy a house, a Tesla, and still have enough left for fancy coffee every day until the sun explodes. So how do you spot one? Here's what to look for. White heavy checkmark sharp details on Lincoln's coat, and face white heavy checkmark no mint mark under the date white heavy checkmark no visible damage. Perfect strike white heavy checkmark possibly a high-grade proof strike, or even a coin struck on the wrong planchet super rare. Now, before you run to dump out every piggy bank in the Tri-County area, here's a reality check. Most 1985 pennies are only worth 1 cent. Yeah, bummer. But that's what makes the hunt exciting, right? Like a coin slot lottery. And every once in a while, someone hits the jackpot. I actually once found a 1983 copper penny that was worth about $15 at a coin show. I spent $1 to get in, and I left with a taco and a profit. It wasn't $1.7 million, but hey, it paid for lunch. Moral of the story? You never know what's rattling around in your change jar. So what did we learn today, Coin Squad? That your junk drawer could be a treasure chest. That pennies might be worth more than your lunch. And that checking your change isn't just for cheapskates. It's for future millionaires. If you like this video and want to learn how to spot valuable coins, avoid scams, and maybe even retire early thanks to your spare change, hit that like button like it owes you money. Subscribe to Coin Clues, where we turn pocket change into possibilities. And hey, leave a comment if you've ever found a coin worth more than face value. I want to hear your stories. 1991 No Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. And why one of these little copper guys could retire you early. So, if you've got a change jar, drawer, or piggy bank gathering dust, you might want to stick around at O and hit that like button so the YouTube gods smile upon this penny-loving madness folded hands. Let's get into IT.so. Here's the scoop. In 1991, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies. Yep, with AB. Most had either a D mint mark, Denver, or no mint mark at all, which normally means they came from Philadelphia. Now here's where things get interesting. Philadelphia didn't start using mint marks on pennies until 2017. So most 1991 pennies have no mint mark. But the one we're talking about is not just any no mint mark penny. It's a very specific error coin. The real unicorn is a 1991 penny that was mistakenly struck on a bronze planchet, a type of metal blank that wasn't supposed to be used anymore by then. The U.S. Mint had already switched over to zinc cores in 1982. Basically, it's like finding a cassette tape in a Spotify playlist. Weird, out of place, and suddenly worth a fortune. Why? Because minting errors plus rarity plus historical curiosity equals collector gold. Now brace yourself. A verified 1991 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, struck on a bronze planchet, sold at auction for, drumroll please, $1.6 million. Let that sink in. A single cent sold for more than most houses. Of course, it was in pristine condition, certified by a top grading company, and had a juicy backstory that numismatists, fancy word for coin nerds, drool over. Now, before you go quitting your job to become a full-time penny hunter, let me throw in a tiny disclaimer. Not every 1991 penny with no mint mark is worth 7 figures. But if you find one that's heavier than normal, or looks different from others, you might be sitting on a winner. Okay, let's get nerdy. Here's what to look for. No mint mark under the date, normal, but stick with me. Use a precise digital scale. A normal zinc penny weighs 2.5 grams. A bronze one? Around 3.1 grams. That 0.6 G difference is huge. Bronze pennies have a richer, darker tone, kind of like a penny that's been to therapy. If your penny ticks those boxes, do not spend it. Don't toss it. And definitely don't let your cousin Chad try to clean it with toothpaste. Okay, real talk. A few years ago, I found a weird-looking penny in my laundry room, super shiny, off-color. I got all excited, weighed it, it was 3.1 grams. I practically fainted. Turns out it was just a 1979 penny with gum stuck to it. I was devastated. But hey, lesson learned. Always check your change. Since then, I made a habit to scan every coin I get. My barista probably thinks I'm running some underground minting ring. But who knows? All it takes is one lucky find. So, could you be holding $1 million penny? Maybe. Stranger things have happened, like someone paying $120,000 for a banana duct taped to a wall. The key takeaway? Check your coins. Use a scale. Compare. Educate yourself. You never know what little treasure is jingling in your pocket. And if you like this video, smash that subscribe button. Bellhop bell. I post weekly videos on coin collecting tips, error coins to look out for, and how to turn pocket change into profit. Moneybag, hit that bell so you don't miss out on more coin sanity. Drop a comment if you've ever found something wild in your change. We might feature you in the next video. 1993 D. Lincoln cent with a crazy error that turned it into a literal treasure. And guess what? You might actually have one sitting in a jar in your kitchen right now. All right, let's dive in. So what's the deal with this magic penny? Well, Abe Lincoln's been chilling on the front of the U.S. penny since 1909. But the 1993 D cent, minted in Denver, has a mysterious error that has collectors completely losing their minds. Playfully, like calling their mom at 2 a.m. to celebrate levels of excitement. Now, most 1993 D cents? Totally normal. Worth 1 cent. Maybe two if it's shiny and you sell it to your cousin. But one of them, one, has an extremely rare minting error where it was accidentally struck on a 1992 planchet. That's the blank metal disc used to make coins. So the design doesn't match the metal. That's like pouring Mountain Dew into a Coca-Cola can. Confusing, potentially explosive, and worth a lot on eBay. Okay, here's where things get wild. This particular penny error is so unique and well-preserved that experts graded it near perfect. We're talking MS 67 red, baby. Confused voice, MS 67? What, did it graduate from Coin College? Laughs, not quite. MS stand for mint state. The higher the number, the better the condition. 70 is perfect. 67 is like Hollywood star good looks for coins. The rarity, the condition, and the wild backstory made this penny's value skyrocket. In a high-profile private sale, drumroll please, it was valued at a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. Now, let me hit you with a personal story. A few years ago, I was helping my grandma clean out her attic. Dusty boxes, old newspapers, VHS tapes labeled X-Files finale. And there it was, a jar of old coins. I'm flipping through it, just bored, right? But I spot a 1993 D cent. My heart skips a beat. I'm like, this is it. I'm about to quit my job and buy a yacht. But here's the thing. You'll never know unless you look. And checking is super easy. Just grab a magnifying glass, look for 1993 D, and if it has unusual edges, wrong metal tone, or misalignment, you might be onto something. So let's recap. There's a 1993 D Lincoln penny that might make you a millionaire. Not all of them, just one with a rare error. But if you've got a stash of coins lying around, even just a few, it's 100% worth checking. And if you do find one, call me. I'll bring the confetti and pizza. So if you like money, cool stories, and the thrill of the coin hunt, smash that subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you don't miss out, and drop a comment below if you've ever found something wild in your change. Oh, and check your couch cushions. Seriously, there's treasure down there. 1995 be worth that much? But trust me, this story is real. I'm going to break it down for you. And hey, if you stick around till the end, I'll share how a penny once saved me from a really awkward first date. Seriously. So first things first, let's talk about this mythical moneymaker. The 1995 D Lincoln cent. You'll recognize it by the little d under the ear, which stands for Denver Mint. Sounds normal, right? But here's where it gets juicy. In most cases, in 1995, D penny is worth exactly, drum roll, 1 cent. Maybe two if it's feeling flirty. But one of them, yes, one, is a unicorn. A super rare error coin. And rumor has it, it sold at auction for $1.8 million. Now, before you go flipping your couch cushions and digging through your junk drawer, this isn't your average pocket change. This specific penny had a major minting error that makes collectors drool like toddlers near cake. Experts believe this million-dollar baby is a double-die coin, or possibly a wrong planchet error. That's a fancy way of saying something went really weird at the mint and a totally unique coin was born. And collectors, they love weird. If a coin has the right combo of rarity, error, and pristine condition, boom, it's the Beyoncé of pocket change. Here's where it gets real. There are only a handful of these out there. If you've got one, you just might be sitting on a fortune. In fact, some collectors will pay big bucks even for less than perfect versions. So when you're hunting through your change, here's what to look for. Okay, story time. A couple years ago, I was getting ready for a first date. I was nervous, broke, and digging through my change jar for enough gas money. Don't judge me. I found a super shiny penny 1995 D, and my coin nerd brain lit up. I spent 2 hours researching it, totally forgot I was supposed to pick up my date, and she ended up going out with my roommate. Ouch. But I did learn a valuable lesson. Always check your change. And don't date people who like your roommate better. Anyway, that penny wasn't the $1 million one, but I did sell it for $25. Not bad for a coin I almost fed to a vending machine. All right, friends, here's the takeaway. If you got a 1995 D penny lying around, don't ignore it. Grab a magnifying glass, check for errors, and maybe, just maybe, you'll hit the copper jackpot. And hey, if you love finding treasure in your couch cushions or learning which coins can fund your retirement, hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell. I drop new videos every week with real strategies to turn pocket change into paycheck change. 1996 de Lincoln Penny. And rumor has it, one of these just sold or is appraised for $1.50 million. I mean, that's Beyonce money for pocket change. If that doesn't make you want to raid your couch cushions, I don't know what will. So grab a handful of change and stick around, because today we're diving deep into how this humble penny became the Kim Kardashian of coins. And hey, if I can find one of these, maybe you can too. All right, let's break it down. The 1996 D. Lincoln penny is pretty common. I mean, over 6 billion of them were minted in Denver. So how can one be worth over $1 million? Did it go to college? Did it write a best-selling book? Nope. It's all about the errors, the condition, and a little thing called rarity. Here's the deal. Most 1996 D pennies are worth face value, one lonely cent. But if yours has a rare mint error like a double die, off-center strike, or a freakishly high-grade MS-70 condition, then we're talking jackpot status. Some collectors go nuts over those errors. It's like the Beanie Babies craze, but with money. Literally. One story goes that in 1996, D penny with insane sharpness and a virtually flawless surface was appraised at, you guessed it, $1.5 million. And before you ask, no, it's not made of solid gold. Just solid perfection. It's like finding a chicken nugget shaped like Elvis. It's all about what collectors are willing to pay. I remember back in high school, my buddy Danny and I used to dig through rolls of pennies from the bank. Yeah, that was our version of partying. One day he screams, "Dude, I found a 1996 D with a weird bump on Lincoln's forehead." He thought it was some kind of rare zombie penny. Turns out gum. Still, we were hooked. Point is, coin collecting became our thing. We didn't find a $1 million penny, but I did find a 1995 double die once and sold it for $60. Not bad for something that started in a sock drawer. Okay, so how do you know if you got the golden goose in your change jar? Here's a quick checklist. White heavy checkmark, check for the demint mark under the date. White heavy checkmark, look for unusual features, doubling in the lettering, off-center strikes, or raised lines. White heavy checkmark, the shinier and more perfect it is, the better. We're talking mirror-like finish, no scratches, and full details on Lincoln's hair. If you can see his dandruff, you're in the money. And pro tip, get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. You'll need that certification before anyone drops 7 figures on a penny. Now, to be clear, not every 1996 D penny is worth more than your lunch. But the market for rare, errors, and high-grade coins is hot right now. Coin auctions are popping off. One sold for $20,000. Another got appraised for $1.5 million. And if the stars align, yours could be next. So, next time you see a penny on the ground, don't just walk by like it owes you money. Pick it up. It might be a 1-cent piece of history worth more than your car, or your house, or, heck, your ex's house. Now, if you want to learn how to spot valuable coins, avoid coin scams, and maybe even make a side hustle out of coin roll hunting, hit that subscribe button. I've got videos coming up on buffalo nickels, silver dimes, and how I turned $20 into $800 with just coins from a gas station. Leave a comment if you've ever found a weird or rare coin. I want to hear your stories. And who knows, maybe you'll be the one to find the next $1 million penny. 2016, D. Lincoln penny so special, why collectors are going nuts over it, and how you can cash in if you have one. And of course, I'll sprinkle in some laughs, a personal story of heartbreak involving a vacuum cleaner and a rare penny, and tell you how to get ahead in the coin game. So smash that like button like you're trying to flatten a penny on a railroad track. And let's get into it. So first off, what even is a 2016 D. Lincoln penny? Simple. It's your everyday 1-cent coin minted in Denver. That's what the D stands for. It's got our guy Abe Lincoln on the front looking as presidential as ever, and the Union shield on the back. Nothing fancy at first glance, right? But here's where things get spicy like grandma's chili. Some of these 2016 D pennies were struck with what's called a die error or double die. That's when the coin design gets slightly duplicated or misaligned during the minting process. That tiny error, it can make that penny worth hundreds, thousands, or in some cases, $1.6 million. Fire how? Well, collectors love mistakes. It's like Pokemon cards, but for grown-ups who also enjoy metal detecting in their yard. So why the heck would someone drop $1.6 million on a coin you can find under your car seat? Rarity. These error coins are super rare. We're talking lottery odds. Only a few are known to exist in pristine condition. Condition, if it's in mint state, like MS67 or higher, oh baby, you're in the money. We're talking ultra-rare investment grade. Demand, coin collectors are wild. And when they want something rare to complete their set, they'll pay top dollar for it. And yes, that includes 1-cent coins. My mom still doesn't believe me. She thinks I'm on YouTube playing coin dress up. Thanks, Mom. Okay, now you're probably foaming at the mouth thinking, how do I check my jar of pennies without losing my sanity? Look for the 2016 date and the demint mark just below Lincoln. Grab a magnifying glass or even your phone camera. Zoom in on Abe's face, the date, and the letters. Look for doubling, misalignment, or any weird markings. If it looks funky, don't panic. Get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Don't just take it to the gas station dude who knows coins. Ask me how I know. One time, I found a weird 2016 penny and showed it to the guy at the corner store. He gave me 50 cents for it, said he was doing me a favor. 3 weeks later, I see a video online. It sold for $2,000. I still can't walk into that store without crying in the chips aisle. Now, the big question, are these really selling for $1.60 million? Short answer, yes, but only for the absolute rarest and pristine, certified condition. That one that sold for $1.6 million? It was flawless, certified, and had the kind of die error that collectors go bananas over. But even if you don't have that one, lesser quality error pennies from the same year can still sell for $500, $1,000, even $10,000. All right, treasure hunters, time to go raid your couch cushions, car cup holders, and that suspicious drawer in your kitchen. You might just be sitting on a penny worth more than a brand new Ferrari. Not bad for a coin that can't even buy you a stick of gum anymore. And if you like this video and want more tips on coins worth money, error coins to watch for, and stories of lost treasures, and maybe some comedy too, hit that subscribe button like it owes you money. Speech balloon, drop a comment if you've ever found a weird-looking coin, or if you've accidentally spent one and are now quietly panicking. I'm here every week with tips, stories, and probably more jokes than necessary. 2018, D. Lincoln penny might just be worth more than your car, or your house, or both. Yep, one sold for $1.70 million. That's with an M, people. You're probably thinking, wait, what? It's a 2018 penny. I have like 40 of those rattling around in my couch cushions. Well, buckle in, because today we're diving into why this specific penny is worth a fortune, how to check your coins, and how I personally almost spent one like it on a stick of gum. No joke. So what's the big deal with this penny? It's a 2018 Lincoln cent minted in Denver. You'll know it's from Denver because of the little D under the year. Most of these are worth, well, a cent. Shocking, I know. But every now and then, a rare error sneaks out of the mint, and boom, we've got a collector's jackpot. The one that sold for $1.7 million had a super rare mis-strike known as a double die. Basically, some parts of the design are stamped twice, slightly offset. It's like the penny version of a typo, except instead of your boss yelling at you, a collector throws a bag of money at you. Now here's the thing. Not all 2018 D pennies are valuable. You're looking for specific signs, doubled lettering, especially on Liberty, the date, and the motto, "In God We Trust." You might need a magnifying glass, or in my case, your phone camera zoomed in so hard it looked like I was scanning a moon rock. But if you do find one with these errors, and it's in mint condition, like never saw the inside of a pocket condition, then congratulations, my friend. You may have just found your retirement plan. Quick story time. I was at a gas station, digging for change like a raccoon in a vending machine. I handed the cashier a few pennies, and she goes, "This one's shiny." I glanced down, and it's a 2018 D. Out of curiosity, I kept it instead and Googled it later. No mint error, but got me hooked. Now I'm like the Indiana Jones of pocket change. Moral of the story? Always check your change. Always. Your next cup of coffee might be funded by a coin you almost left in a drive-thru. Here's a quick checklist to help you figure out if you've struck copper gold. And trust me, getting a penny professionally graded is way less stressful than trying to explain to your partner why you bought another metal detector. So now you know, that boring little penny in your junk drawer, it might just be your ticket to the big leagues, if you know what to look for. If you found this helpful, or you're now seriously eyeballing your coin jar, do me a solid. Hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss a tip on coins worth money. We drop weekly videos that help you turn pocket change into paper stacks. And hey, drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you've been hoarding pennies since lunch money days. You're among friends here. Koi nerds unite.